Big reaction today to the bombshell news that Prince Andrew has been stripped of his title. He's so on the outs with the rest of the royal family. Word is they have disinvited him from the upcoming Christmas festivities.
Once upon a time, he was the Queen's golden boy, the cheeky, confident son who could do no wrong. But behind the polished charm and naval uniform lay something far darker. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the man once known as Prince Andrew, has fallen harder than any royal in modern history. His ties to scandal, his arrogance, and his shocking downfall didn't come from nowhere. They were there from the start. This is the story of the former Duke of York's school days, his early arrogance, the disturbing tales from his staff, and the damning new claims from Andrew Lownie's explosive book, entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York. At Gordonstoun School in Scotland, the same elite institution that educated Prince Philip, King Charles, and Prince Edward, Andrew quickly became infamous. Classmates recall him as a very slimy so-and-so, arrogant, pleased with himself, a bully. One woman remembered him strutting around school saying, "You do know who I am," whenever he didn't get his way.
King Charles III has stripped his disgraced brother Prince Andrew of his remaining titles and evicted him from his royal residence. So why was action taken now and what happens next? Let's break it down. The move follows weeks of pressure on the crown to respond to Andrew's relationship with defender Jeffrey Epstein.
He believed he was charming, handsome, clever, but others saw only smugness and self-importance. Where Charles was shy, Andrew was loud. Where other boys earned respect, he demanded it. That arrogance would become his trademark and his curse. It wasn't just his peers who noticed. One housemaster told biographer Andrew Lownie that Andrew's time at Gordonstoun was hardly ever mentioned, unlike his brothers. Why? Because all anyone ever said was that he was a bully. Staff said he seemed obsessed with his royal status. Even in a school meant to toughen and humble princes, Andrew resisted humility. He wanted to be special, always separate from the crowd. Though unpopular with the boys, Andrew was never short of female company.
It's a disgrace, I'll be completely honest. He's representing the country and he's meant to be the face of England. Is this what we represent? Is this what the people represent? No, it's a disgrace. So I'm happy he's got stripped of his titles, his royal titles as well.
Lownie writes that he had an ever-changing circle of conquests, earning him the nickname Randy Andy long before he ever joined the Navy. But one girlfriend, an American from a wealthy family, described a different side. She said he was kind, trusting, and oddly naive. She spoke of a young man who feared being used for his title. It's the contrast that defines Andrew, the arrogant show-off hiding deep insecurity. When Andrew joined Dartmouth Naval College, nothing changed. One fellow cadet said he would have been happier as an Edwardian gentleman, a man out of time who wore his title like armour. Another described him as toffee-nodes and unworldly. At the Royal Naval Air Station in Cornwall, even his peers were expected to salute his car. One officer joked, "Fancy saluting a flipping car?"
On this particular occasion, went into Prince Andrew's bedroom and his apartments, and on his bed was, I now know was 72, I said about 50, but a maid confirmed it was 72 because she had to count them. 72 teddy bears on his bed. And then my inspector showed me a laminated card which is in the side drawer.
The young prince who once bullied schoolmates was now a naval officer, demanding reverence from his subordinates. The royal hat had become his shield and everyone else's burden. A pattern emerges. A boy who bullies becomes a man who berates staff. A teen who demands respect becomes an adult who expects obedience. A young cadet hiding behind his title becomes a disgraced man hiding from accountability. Privilege shaped him, but it was entitlement that destroyed him. Fast forward to today. Stripped of all royal titles, banished from public life, evicted from Royal Lodge, the 30-room mansion he refused to leave. The Queen's once favourite son has become the monarchy's greatest embarrassment. King Charles's patience snapped. In a single phone call, he told his brother it was over. The titles, the honours, the grace, even the home. Andrew would have to go.
News out of London, where Buckingham Palace has issued a statement saying that King Charles has started the formal process to strip Prince Andrew of his prince title. He will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and the BBC is reporting that he'll have to move to another royal estate.
The arrogance that once opened every door has now locked him out. There's irony in this story. The boy who barked, "You do know who I am," is now a man no one wants to remember. His name has become toxic, a symbol of how power and ego can rot a legacy from within. Those close to him say he spends most days holed up, angry, playing video games, refusing to face reality, still convinced the world is unfair, still convinced the monarchy owes him something. But forgiveness demands humility, something Andrew never learned. In recent months, former palace staff have come forward and their stories are damning. One former maid revealed that Andrew had an obsession with order, especially his stuffed toys. Each morning, maids were expected to arrange his 70-plus teddy bears exactly as he liked. If one was even slightly out of place, he would explode.
Teddy bears. He has like 40 teddy bears that have to be assembled and arranged perfectly. Staff are given a chart to arrange Prince Andrew's teddy bears on his bed every day. So there's quirky stuff, but there's also just stuff in there about how, especially in recent years since he's left the royal family, that he takes it out on staff because he is in isolation, he is in this sprawling property.
Another staffer said he once shouted at a maid for daring to touch his curtains before he was ready to wake. Others claimed he threw tantrums over small things like ironing his pants just so, or the temperature of his bathwater. Andrew Lownie reports that palace workers were expected to bow every time he entered the room. And if they forgot, he'd snap, "Let's try that again." One aide was reassigned because Andrew didn't like the man's facial mole. Another was moved for wearing a nylon tie. He once even screamed at a palace employee for failing to address the Queen properly, calling him, quote, "a effing imbecile." This wasn't the behaviour of a fallen prince.
One of the bedroom cabinets of a picture of these teddy bears, all in situ. And he said the reason for that picture is that the maids have to put them back exactly like it's in that picture. He said if they don't, he shouts and screams and abuses them. And then a maid came out and confirmed that.
It was the tantrum of a man who truly believed the world revolved around him. Andrew Lownie's latest book peels back the final layers of pretense, and what it reveals is shocking. The biography claims his finances were mysterious, spending far beyond any official income, allegedly using his status to secure gifts and private deals with questionable figures. He had a staggering number of sexual encounters, including a now infamous 4-day trip to Thailand, where Lownie claims around 40 women visited his hotel room. His daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, were drawn into his world of business and influence, often unknowingly, as he sought ways to maintain relevance and money. In short, the book suggests Andrew's entire adult life was built on the same arrogance that defined his school years. Only now, the stakes were higher, and the damage irreversible. But what does all this tell us? That the downfall of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor wasn't sudden at all. It was decades in the making. The arrogance of youth became entitlement in adulthood. The entitlement became scandal. And the scandal became exile. From schoolyard bully to fallen royal, the arc is painfully clear. The man who once asked, "You do know who I am," now faces a world that finally answers, "Yes, and we don't care." And perhaps the most chilling part of all, Andrew still doesn't see himself as the problem. Those close to him claim he blames everyone else: the media, his brother, the unfair system. He's reportedly convinced that time will vindicate him, that one day the monarchy will restore his honour. But the truth is, that day will never come. Because Andrew's downfall isn't the result of a single scandal. It's the sum of decades of arrogance, cruelty, and denial. The same traits that once made him powerful are now the very things that keep him isolated, disgraced, and forgotten by the world he once ruled. So what do you think? Were the warning signs always there? Did his upbringing seal his fate? Or could he have chosen differently? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Because when it comes to the House of York, the truth is always stranger than fiction. Thanks for watching.